You're listening to a Shockcast original. Shock.
The C Word with Callista.
Welcome back to the C Word. My name's Callista, and I met today's guest when she was still a radio announcer just down the hall from where I am for Mix. But now she's a full-time beauty content creator, and she's got makeup skills I can only dream of. So, Emily, welcome.
Hello. Hi, Callista. Thank you so much for having me.
I love watching your YouTube videos because, even if I try to follow, there's no way I can do it. I can't even get my winged liner to look the same. So, I don't know how you do it.
Oh, man, I have the same problem, especially because your face changes as you age. So you're always having to recorrect your technique and just change it up just so it works for your eyes. So yeah, no, it just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, I always tell people I can do the perfect wing liner. I can do the perfect one on this eye and the perfect one on this eye, but they just won't look the same.
Happens all the time, trust me.
Speaking of you being a full-time content creator right now, what have you been up to? What anything exciting?
I don't know if you would call this exciting. It's exciting to me, maybe because I'm a little bit older than the generation that's on TikTok. I started a TikTok account.
I saw.
And I'm really enjoying myself there. It's a very different way of presenting content, and I really like it. I think it's really interesting.
You came up on my For You page a couple of times.
That's good. Yeah, I've taken a slightly different approach to TikTok, a little bit more beginner, a little bit more like makeup beginner friendly. And yeah, people have been liking them. So hopefully it goes on.
Speaking of your content, and of course, you have loads of beauty content and I love it. But there was one series on YouTube that you did in particular about a couple of years ago, which is why I wanted to talk to you today. And it's not something that a lot of people are willing to talk about, but you documented your whole journey from start to end and then came back, I think 6 months into it to do a whole Q&A. And basically you decided that you would go all the way to Korea to get some work done. How do you feel about the whole thing 2 years down the road?
I am still really, really glad I got it done. It was something that I personally wanted to do to kind of give myself a boost, I guess, in confidence, in the way I felt about myself, in the way that I wanted to present myself. Maybe it ended up getting a little bit more attention than I expected because a bunch of outlets picked it up, like VT and stuff. And yeah, so that's when other comments started flowing in. And even if what I feel like is the world is divided on whether I should or shouldn't have done it, I did it for myself. And that's what I feel like, I'm good. I'm happy.
So after everything, like I said, after 2 years, you've got no regrets at all?
None whatsoever. I mean, obviously with the result, I'm not sure if you saw my videos, there was a scar that came out just right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but in the light, it's still visible. In person, it's visible. Obviously, I wish that it had gone a different way and everything had come out fine. But overall, I'm still really happy that I did it.
Have you done anything since then?
No, it was just that. I'm happy with the way everything kind of settled down, and it did take a really long time for everything to settle and be what it is. So yeah, haven't done anything since.
Okay, so just to refresh my memory and everybody who's actually seen the videos, what exactly did you get done?
So I had two things done. My jaw kind of shaved down. They actually shaved the bone just to make it look a little bit slimmer. And then I had my nose done as well. And then a bit of my ear is actually at the tip.
A bit of your ear?
Yeah, so they do cut off a tiny bit of the cartilage at the back of your ear.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So recently I saw a video of, because your video didn't show the actual surgery happening, right? All the graphic stuff. But I saw this other YouTuber, Nikita Dragon. Do you know her?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so she recently did her 4th nose job. Did you watch any videos before you decided to go through with it?
I had seen videos, but I leading up to, once I agreed to do everything and once everything was set in place, leading up to it, I didn't search for anything. And I think I was very, very blissful in my ignorance. I was just yeah, okay, I'm getting something done. Go to sleep, wake up, okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say there's been many times that I've been I'd like to get liposuction, for instance, but then I saw a video of it and I'm I guess that's off the table.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah. When you see how it's actually done, it's so mind-blowing, what the human body can go through.
It really is insane. And the surgeons, I guess just because they've done it so much, they're not very careful with the way they're doing it. So it does look a little bit in your face. It really is right up in your face. So yeah, like I'd seen them before and I knew I shouldn't search for anything leading up to the surgery.
Okay, which one do you think was worse? The nose or the jaw?
So I actually know which one is meant to be worse because there are two different kinds of anesthesia that they administer depending on which surgery you go for. So because I was doing both of them at the same time, I got given the general anesthesia, which is actually for the jaw. So they actually only do, I'm not sure the scientific term for it because when I was at the clinic, all they called it was the sleeping anesthesia. So you do go to sleep, but you're not fully asleep for the nose job.
Don't they like cut open and like lift up the whole thing?
No, they don't. Nowadays, they don't. So they make like these really tiny incisions inside and they're able to kind of guide everything in without actually moving the face around too much or causing too many cuts.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, actually for the rhinoplasties, the healing period, the deswelling period is a lot shorter than for the jaw. It takes a lot longer for the jaw. And even once I came out of surgery, I think it was about 3 or 4 months before I could actually open all the way.
So you couldn't even eat properly?
No, yeah.
So how do they do the jaw?
That one is a little bit more graphic, the way that they do it. So they actually, it's not pretty. So on in between your teeth and your cheek on the lower jaw, that's where they start the incision. So from all the way from your wisdom teeth, they just make that incision all the way around. Yeah. So when I woke up, I had stitches inside.
Is there a scar now?
No, but I guess now I don't really feel it so much anymore. But when I first woke up, it was definitely tighter. I could feel like there was much less of a stretch in that area.
Like usually they kind of shave the sides, right?
Yeah, so that's what they do. They cut from the inside and then they start shaving from the inside.
Is it like sandpaper and then they kind of file it down, or
they use a much stronger machine?
So I feel like whenever we do all these things that will change the way you look, like you have to think of like every aspect, and we most of the time we don't, right?
You really do though, like especially for something as big as surgery or even braces. Honestly, like it's structure altering, and I feel like you really need to think it through before you do something.
Did you also do your eye?
Oh yeah, I did. I completely forgot. Yeah, so that one is much less invasive. It sounds really crazy saying something like that because you do still have to cut the eyelids, but it's so much less invasive than the other stuff that I got done. It was kind of like a side thing that the doctor was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And in Korea, the way they do it, it's really natural. So like even I forget sometimes that I've had my eyes done.
Because you also just did, it wasn't like a full-on double eyelid thing, right? It was more of a corrective thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I had like a much heavier upper lid on this side and it was actually drooping down already. So I got them to kind of just like straighten it out.
Yeah, because I remember when you first did the video, that was the thing that I caught onto, because out of like all the other things that you did, that was the one that I've been thinking about for so long, because I also have a heavier lid on one side. And every time I go to like these aesthetic clinics for like facials or whatever, they always say like, oh, if you want to do it, the only way you can do it is if you actually cut. I feel like I really want to, but at the same time, like I said, like pain, it's not even about the money. It's like I can't bring myself to like go through the pain. So I think like you were really brave to be able to do that.
When you have the smaller things done, they don't feel like they've done that much to you. So the pain medication that's prescribed to you is not as strong, I guess. But when I had everything done at the same time, the pain medication obviously that was prescribed to me was for the jaw mainly. And so I went through everything uncomfortable, but not in pain.
So you weren't in much pain at all?
No. So
Wow.
I was walking around every single day. From the day after the surgery, I had started walking already. But the only discomfort I felt was the swelling in my face. Like I felt my skin was being stretched out. But besides that, I wasn't in pain at all.
Wow. Okay. That's surprising to me, because, and I think to a lot of people as well, because when you think about what's going to happen to you, you think it's going to be a lot of pain. And then when you walk out of the clinic, you're all bandaged up as well, right? So it looks like it should be a lot of pain, but I think either
it's just a whole bunch of discomfort. It's very uncomfortable, but not painful.
How long was the healing process?
The major healing I had to go through, I would say 3 to 4 months before everything kind of felt like I could stretch and scrunch my face and do everything, make expressions without feeling the stretch or feeling the discomfort. Like swelling wise, it actually took about a year.
Okay.
But you don't really notice it. As time goes on, you notice that things have settled a little bit better. Yeah, you start looking a little bit more normal compared to your old photos. And the only way you can tell is by looking through the old photos, the progress photos.
And when you say like they left like a scar on your nose, right? Were they not able to fix it? Or?
So this is actually so much better than it looked at the beginning. Well, they caught it on day 5 because on day 5, you're meant to remove all the major bandages on your face. So they only caught it on day 5. And what happened was, I think something to do with a lack of oxygen during the surgery, which may or may not have been their fault. I'm not going to go into it because they're happy to fix it anyway. So when I first found it, it was black. It was almost like dead skin. I had to go through another minor surgery to extract stem cells to kind of formulate into a stem cell injection that they would then use to treat the scar. So I was meant to be there for only 2 weeks. I ended up staying a month and a half. And then they brought me back. They brought me back a few months later to continue treatment. And then COVID happened and I was supposed to be back there a couple more times to go through more treatment. But because of COVID, I've been stuck here. And so this thing, I'm waiting to go back there and
you're going to get it
further
fixed even more.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say like now there's like lasers and stuff that they can remove scars and stuff like that, right?
They wanted to kind of explore treatment options in Malaysia as well, but they feel like they can do it better there and they just want to wait until they can bring me back.
I was telling my team that I was planning to talk to you about this, and one girl was really excited and she wants me to ask you, what is the pricing like? Like, is it super expensive? Is it worth it?
I don't have like a full 100% breakdown of the costs. I do have like a rough figure. So, and this was like from 2 years ago, unfortunately. Like it's been that long and I haven't been able to talk about it because they wanted me to get this fixed before I like released my final video talking about cost, talking about like final experience. I would say you're looking at definitely under the 100K mark for everything that I've done. Mm-hmm. Definitely over 50 as well. So you're looking between 50 and 100. I'm not exactly sure how much. I would say it's worth it just because it's a lot cheaper than what you can get in places like Singapore or the US, which I think are pretty popular places to get it as well. Mm-hmm. This is like going into a lot of detail. I don't know if it's something that people want to explore, but like if you're talking Thailand versus Korea, they're both rather affordable, I guess, like relatively affordable surgery options. It just depends on the look you're going for. Like Thai people, the looks that they end up doing are a lot more structured. And then Koreans go for a much softer, more natural look. That's what you have to consider as well. But pricing wise, I mean, they're one of the best places you can go to just because they're more affordable and they're extremely experienced.
I guess at the end of the day, even if you could give me a breakdown, I would say like everybody should definitely do their own research before committing to something.
It is super different for every single person. Like when I got my consultation as well, they were talking about so many different things and like how I should do this instead of that. And there are so many different options. So I think the pricing ends up changing quite a bit based on what you end up doing and how much you end up doing.
How did you decide that you actually wanted to go through with it?
I'd been exploring the option for a while, which is why like I knew I wanted to do it. I'm very, very, very lucky because they approached me with a sponsorship deal. So I didn't have to foot the bill by myself. I feel like such a brat saying something like this, but I really do feel like I come from a very, very privileged position to be able to say this. So that's the reason why I ended up doing it. Honestly, if I was talking about doing it by myself, just the money alone, I think would have thrown me off a little bit. I don't know if I would have gone through with it. But since the offer came in, and I'm the kind of person that maybe in a bad way is like a little bit spontaneous, a bit impulsive. I also love trying out new aesthetic treatments and things like that. Like I've always been open to playing around with new things. So yeah, I said yes. And the rest is
Did they know that you would be interested, or were they just being like, hey, we're interested to sponsor you if that's something you're into?
They kind of just take shots in the dark. So I've been receiving these for a while, and this was the best clinic and the best kind of middleman that I received an offer from, and that's why I decided to go with them.
Okay. So you definitely were thinking about it before the offer came in, but then that was the biggest push, I guess, because you didn't have to think of the financial part.
Yeah, and the fact that these were also some of the best clinics and the best, I guess, the most experienced people that I had received offers from.
Okay. And when you decided to go through with it, what was the response from your friends, your family, from your husband?
Everybody kind of pushed against it at first. I think everybody does. Like, it is not a big thing, especially not in Malaysian society, for someone to go through something like this. I am also a very stubborn person. I stood my ground. I was like, look, if you like it or not, I'm doing it anyway. So then I think all of them turned around, and I was really lucky in that sense. Like, I had really supportive family members. Even my husband was like, okay, well, if you're going to go through with it, I don't think that you need to, and I don't really want you to, but if you want to, I will support you. And so he went with me. He took care of me after the surgery. I'm very, very thankful. I don't think I would have gone through it or been able to go through it so easily without him.
So initially everyone was against it, but you managed to change their mind.
Yeah. Well, they came around by themselves, and I'm very, very thankful. It made it a lot easier for me.
So when they first saw the results, what was their reaction?
Oh, everybody got really freaked out because when I first came back, I was still pretty swollen and it looked highly unnatural. Everybody was a little bit freaked out, especially my parents. They were like, oh my gosh, I see you, but like, I don't recognize my daughter in you.
Were you scared at any point that you had made the wrong decision?
I trusted the doctors a lot. And just by looking at the girls that were coming in and out of the clinic after their surgeries for like consultations or like post checkups, I was like, nah, it's fine.
Okay. So even through the swelling process, you just trusted the process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It helped that there were so many examples of what like I would maybe come out like walking in and out of the clinic. So I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
And then you actually walked to the streets in bandages, right?
I did. Everybody is so like blasé about it in Korea. Nobody even takes a second glance. Like, even if my mask is fully off with all the bandages, with the bruises, they're just like, yeah, okay.
I can't imagine someone doing that here. It would be
right.
Such a different
there
response.
Would be so much. I'm sure there'd be cameras out as well.
Yeah, definitely. So you did post this whole journey on YouTube, and when I saw it, I think it was already on the second video or something, and I already saw the comments. There was a lot of backlash. How did you deal with like all the negative comments? Because it was a lot.
Yeah, there were a lot. I feel like the thing is, I didn't do this for them. I did it for myself. Mm-hmm. No matter what you do, as long as you're putting yourself out there on social media, online, there are going to be trolls, there are going to be haters, and I feel like it's more a reflection on the people, the kinds of people that they are, than the kind of person that I am, because what I'm doing doesn't affect you in any way. I have not done anything to hurt you, so I don't feel like I owe you anything. Say what you want, that's fine, it doesn't bother me, and have your opinions, that's fine as well. Like, if you don't like plastic surgery, I respect that. If you don't feel like I look better now than I did before, I respect that as well. That is totally up to you. It's your opinion, but at the end of the day, like I said, like, it's my body, it's my choice. I like the way I look. I am happy with my decision, and that's that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I don't get. Like, okay, you don't like plastic surgery, cool, then don't get it. That's nothing to do with me.
Exactly. Like, I respect your decision, and I'm not gonna drag you out to a clinic and be like, sit down there, go under the knife, do something because you need it. I would never say that to someone.
True. I also feel like, I remember some of the comments were saying like, oh, you're pushing people to do plastic surgery, or you're promoting it to young girls and whatever. And I was even like watching the video, I was like, but you're just documenting your journey. Never once did you sit in front of the camera and go, hey guys, this is a great thing to do. Everybody should get plastic surgery. Like, that was never the point of the video.
Exactly. And I didn't sit there at the end of the video either and go like, this was the best decision I have ever made in my life. I never said anything like that. I'm happy with the way everything turned out, but I would never call this a life-altering best decision of my life. Everybody should get it done. Like, never.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, that's actually my next question. Did it alter your life at all? Did it change anything?
It honestly didn't. It makes me feel better about myself, and that's all I really wanted from it, really.
So it just gave you the confidence that you were looking for, because you looked great before plastic surgery anyway.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think
That's
like
really nice.
you've done something that's like, you don't look like a whole other person, you know?
Mhm.
I feel like it's just enhancements, which I think,
Yeah, it's like
let's be
tweaks.
real, everybody has something that they don't like, and it's just what you choose to do with it, right?
Yes, exactly. And I respect everyone's decision either way, however they choose to embrace their decisions and the way that they look and the way that they are. This is just the way I chose to go about, doing me. And yeah, it wasn't a big change, and it didn't change very much, but I'm happy.
Did it change, like, because you were obviously creating content before you went through the surgery? Did it change how clients approach you?
I honestly don't think so. I mean, people may have had different opinions and chosen not to work with me because of it, but I haven't noticed anything. I've had pretty good relationships with all of my clients. Yeah, I've not actually had like proper bad experiences except from online trolls.
Which is always where the bad experiences come from, unfortunately.
Don't you think?
Yeah. But you're right. As soon as you don't even have to like be a content creator to put yourself out there, so
Exactly.
people can give you like bad comments. It's like, as long as you've got a social media account that is not 100% private, like, the risk is always there. And I just feel like people need to stop giving their opinion where it's not warranted.
Exactly. I mean, there are so many people out there who aren't as prepared as online influencers to receive this kind of hate.
Yeah.
And sometimes like it's completely uncalled for. It doesn't make sense. And these people just have to sit there and take it. And it's really unfair. I feel like it's the worst thing ever for something like that to happen to someone.
Like, how bad did the hate comments go? Was it just literally on the video and then it stopped, or?
I do randomly get like Facebook DMs and Instagram DMs every once in a while. I've never bothered blocking anybody. I've reported like some really bad comments before, but that's about as far as it goes. Like, I hope that Instagram takes action, because these people, they probably don't just stop at me.
No,
they're probably going after exactly, they're probably going after other people as well. So if I can stop someone from doing that to someone else, I would love to, because like, I'm thick-skinned, so I can take some of the things that people say, but like, not everybody is like me. And I do see people who get really offended by some random, like something that someone completely random says to them. So yeah, if I can help stop that, then I will definitely try.
So 2 years down the line, you still get messages about it?
Yes. Every once in a while, I will get some random messages. Oh, and that's probably because as well, like, remember I said a bunch of like these really popular sharing pages shared my content? Yeah, so every once in a while, they do boost the video, and then I appear on people's pages again, and that's where like some comments will start coming in again.
Okay. It's been 2 years. Like, I wasn't expecting it to still be happening, to be honest. Yeah, because now, like, when I see your content, I completely forget that you had it done. It's only like, if I think of the video, or if like I'm thinking of it, like, if again, my eye, I always look at it, and then I always remember that I had that comment with you, and I was like, maybe I should think about it, and then I remember super dramatic. So yeah, no. Is your pain tolerance really high?
Yes, it is. Like, I overthink things, and like for example, with like eyebrow embroidery, the pain I can actually tolerate. What I can't tolerate is like thinking about the blade like cutting into my skin. So I overthink things, but like pain wise, I'm fine.
Okay. Because I've been going to this aesthetic clinic, and like the doctor who does like the stuff for me, so I've never done anything like invasive. It's always just like surface level. But even then, I'm like, I'm just super dramatic. Like, he's always like, people don't even use the numbing cream for this. Like, I'm using this on you. You're still telling me it hurts. I'm like, I know, but it does. Every time I go into the clinic, he's just like, what now? So I always wonder, like, what would happen if one day I just decided to like do what you did. I don't think the clinic would be a big fan of me.
They're pretty cavalier about the things that they do. Even like sometimes, even if I overthink things, the nurse is like, no, it's fine. get it over and done with.
So they didn't baby you at all?
No.
Oh gosh.
Not at all. Just like, moving on, come on.
I guess because they have so many people waiting to do stuff,
They
right?
really do, yeah. And they're so used to it. And some of the girls and ladies that come in, they're used to it as well. So
And that's the thing, I feel like it's not a common thing, but it's definitely a lot more common than people seem to think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've got many surgeries here that do it. Like obviously it's a business that's working. So
yeah, there are a lot of cultures. I mean, not cultures, but like people that accept it already. It's not quite a thing in Malaysia just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, elsewhere, I mean, everybody has things done. Everybody gets things done. It's such a normal thing. And Korea is a really popular destination. So they really get clients from so many different countries.
Okay. So I think like the whole takeaway from this episode is like it's your body, your choice. If you aren't happy with something and you have the means to change it and you want to change it, you do you, go ahead and do it. But it's not something that is necessary. Like it's not like promoting like fake beauty standards or anything. It's just do what makes you happy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, don't do it for someone else. So if you're actually happy with the way you are, please, please, please don't let like online trolls and stupid comments get to you, because if you're happy the way you are, then embrace the way you are. Like, who cares what other people think?
Mm-hmm. Actually, this is something like I was thinking about the other day, because I did this workout challenge and I kept getting comments on, oh my God, you got such a big butt. It's so nice. How come you, like, if you don't work out, if you don't squat, how did you get a big butt? And I'm like, when I was in school, do you know the endless amount of like tormenting I got because I had a big butt? And it was just because it wasn't the trend at that time. Everybody wanted to be like super small and super petite. And I was just out there with my humongous badonkadonk walking around. But now everyone's like, oh my God, that's what I want. So don't like look at yourself and be like, I hate this, I need to change it, because who knows, in 10 years time it might be what everybody else wants.
Exactly. That is exactly it. Like, never ever try and conform to everybody else's beauty standards. You're never gonna meet those standards. So be happy with yourself. If you want to change something, change it. If you don't want to change anything, then that's your prerogative and good for you.
Yeah.
Like, you save money, you're already confident within yourself. I mean, I'm jealous. I would love to be you.
Yeah, I think happiness and confidence is the main thing.
Yeah, but for sure.
Before we end, I just want to know, like, do you have any plans on doing anything else? Like, is there anything that you're thinking of? Like, even if it's just like a little maybe?
Well, I would never say never. Right now, I'm really happy with the way that everything is, the way that everything kind of like landed. But I mean, who knows, right? 20, 30, 40 years in the future, once everything starts to give in to gravity, I might get something done. You never know.
So it's definitely a journey that you wouldn't mind going through again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I was really okay with having it done. And like, I think the healing process was bearable.
All right. Well, thank you, Emily, for like being so open about it, and for like being so sporting, like even through all the negatives and the tough times that you had to go through when it first happened, and you were still willing to answer all questions. If you want to know more, definitely go on over to Emily's YouTube channel. I'm sure she can or has already answered all the questions that you probably have. And yeah, thank you for like talking to me about it.
No worries. Thanks for having me share my side.
I love it. I was curious myself, so
awesome.
All right, and thanks for listening, and I will see you again in the next episode.
The C Word with Callista.